From the Albuquerque Journal, this is the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. It's Thursday, May 21st. Here's what we're covering on today's episode. Albuquerque city leaders approved a $1.47 billion budget for next year, but Mayor Tim Keller and the city council disagree over whether the city can afford it. The council's version spends about $11.8 million more than Keller proposed, mostly to fund raises for city employees and restore cuts to services like transit, animal welfare, and parks. Keller said the council is relying on overly optimistic revenue assumptions despite economic uncertainty, inflation, and possible federal funding cuts. Councilors argue the money is available and say they prioritize worker pay and public services that residents care about. The budget keeps major funding increases for police and fire departments, while also restoring money for traffic safety projects and programs for unhoused residents. Critics like Councilor Dan Lewis warn the plan could create future deficits, while supporters call it a necessary balancing act during a tight budget year. State hearing examiners recommended approval of the $1.25 billion sale of the New Mexico Gas Company to Louisiana-based Bernhard Capital Partners, clearing a major hurdle before a final vote by the New Mexico Public Regulation Commission. The deal, announced last year by current owner Emera, has faced criticism from opponents, including Attorney General Raul Torres, over concerns about private equity ownership, transparency, and customer costs. Hearing examiners, though, said the conditions added to the agreement address many of those worries. Recommended conditions include creating a $12.5 million severe weather fund for customers and increasing the share of certain contract profits going to ratepayers from 70% to 85%. Bernhard also pledged to maintain New Mexico Gas Company's 740 employees for at least 3 years and add 20 new positions. Supporters say the sale would provide $87 million in customer and community benefits with no interruption in service. Critics, however, remain wary of the company's layered ownership structure and long-term accountability. The full PRC must still make a final decision on whether to approve the sale. 3 people have died and at least 18 first responders have been hospitalized after exposure to an unidentified substance at a home in Mountain Air, according to New Mexico State Police. Police responding to a possible overdose call found 4 people unconscious inside the home. 2 victims died at the scene, while a third later died at the University of New Mexico hospital. The condition of the 4th person has not been released. Authorities said 23 people were exposed overall, including first responders. Most were treated and discharged after decontamination, though several experienced symptoms including headaches, nausea, and vomiting. Investigators believe the substance spread through contact rather than through the air. Hazmat crews from Albuquerque Fire Rescue are helping to identify the substance, while officials say drugs may have played a role in the incident. The case remains under investigation. And Chaco Culture National Historic Park and the surrounding Greater Chaco cultural landscape have been named one of America's 11 most endangered historic places by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, as Pueblo leaders warn the area faces renewed threats from oil and gas developments. Leaders from the All Pueblo Council of Governors say the region is a sacred ancestral homeland with irreplaceable cultural and spiritual importance. The designation comes as the federal government considers revoking or shrinking a 10-mile protection zone established in 2023 that blocked new oil, gas, and mineral leasing around Chaco Canyon. Tribal leaders say the process has excluded meaningful consultation with Pueblo nations and are urging Interior Secretary Doug Burnham to preserve the protections permanently through federal legislation. They argue development in the area threatens ancient sites, cultural traditions, and tribal sovereignty. About 90% of federal land in the Greater Chaco region have already been leased for mineral development. Pueblo leaders say the endangered designation is meant to increase public awareness and pressure federal officials to protect the landscape for future generations. The leading news is powered by the journalism of the Albuquerque Journal. If you enjoy hearing all of the stories we share with you here daily, please consider becoming a digital subscriber to the Journal by utilizing the discount code in our show notes. Every subscription helps support local journalism and allows us to provide you with the news that matters to you. Now taking a look at Albuquerque's weather forecast. Today you can expect sunny skies with a high near 84, and as for this evening, mostly clear with a low around 53. To keep up with all the latest news from the Albuquerque Journal, you can visit our website at abqjournal.com. That's the leading news. I'm Gino Gutierrez. We'll be back tomorrow.